Hey everybody, your biggest limitation isn't your ability. It's the story that you tell yourself about what your ability matters, and most people confuse that story with the truth. Welcome to MINDSHiFT Monday. It's not hype, it's not inspiration. Today is about possibility and why most people unknowingly argue against their potential. Hey y'all, I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, and in this episode, we're talking about growth mindset. Not a buzzword, but a decision. Hey, y'all, if you want to get reminders about when we're going live, then text live to 240-557-8679. And after the show, join us on Zoom for the after show. Head on over to mindshiftmonday.com/Zoom. Yes, y'all. Hey, be on the lookout for our new community relaunch, the Amplified Voice HQ. If you're ready to amplify your voice, be heard, be influential, and be paid, then you want to be a part of the Amplified Voice HQ. If you want to join that or be on the waiting list for that, text Amplify Me to 240-557-8679, y'all. Hey, it's going to be a good day. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Yeah. Hey, we're going to get started. Some people see challenge and think that this will grow me, and others think this exposes me. But listen, that difference is what exposes everything. We're getting ready to rock and roll. Let's do this thing. Come on. Yes. Hey! Come on, y'all. Happy Monday to ya. It is so good to be here on a Monday. I am looking at my people on YouTube. TL Speaks. What's going on? Dr. Lorenda, so glad you're here. C. Marie B. I am so glad that you're here. Stephanie Poe on LinkedIn. You are in the place, in the space, looking at my face. Kendra Q. Dodd, see you on Instagram. Hey, Marsha Archer. Woo, I'm so glad. I have lost my voice, y'all. I was hollering a little bit last night. So before we jump into last night, I want to talk about that a little bit. But let me ask you, put this in the chat. Be honest with yourself. When something gets hard, do you get curious or do you get defensive? Do you get curious or do you just get defensive? Come on, be honest, be real. Put that in the chat. Just put curious or defensive. When something gets hard, curious or defensive? Put that in the chat for me really quickly. Yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah. All right, cool. All right, I see a few. Okay, I got a couple of defensives with a emoji. All right. C. Marie says it depends. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, let's jump on in this morning. I don't know if you're a football fan or not, but I am. I like football. And yesterday, I watched the Super Bowl with a different eye than I ever have. Okay, let's see. Stephanie's saying curious. Kareen says both. Marjorie says both. Kendra says, depends on who brings the hard. Curious. George Rice, Coach George, what's going on, dude? We got to get connected again. Says defensive. Yeah. All right. So the Super Bowl. Let's talk about the Super Bowl really quickly. I like football. I'm a football fan. I like sports in general. But I'll start with this. I'm a Jets fan. I'm a New York Jets fan. Yeah. And I don't say that to request your sympathy. Au contraire, mon frère. I say that to encourage you with my mindset of hope in spite of what looks like perpetual despair. Seriously though, y'all. Listen, I share that. TL speaks like Kerfensive. Thank you, sir. That, you know what? Let me pause for a second before I jump into my story here to kind of get some of your stuff on screen, because this is fun. This is fun and funny. Catherine says both. Chris Stone, my guy, says always curious. Coach George, yeah, I love seeing y'all. All right, good. Let me jump back to the show for the day. All right, so I'm a Jets fan, and I share that to give you a bit of context for what I'm about to share. So in 2017, the New York Jets, were in the middle of another deplorable campaign, and someone started the slogan, "Suck for Sam." Yeah, Sam Darnold was a quarterback in college at USC, University of Southern California. And of course, every year, if you watch football, you know that there is a draft. A college athlete or a group of college athletes are drafted into the NFL. And Sam Darnold was a quarterback at USC, and he had a reputation as a gunslinging QB who threw a lot of interceptions, but had a go-for-it mentality. And he entered the draft that year. The 2018 draft, he entered that year. And in that draft, there were some quarterbacks that you may know the names for. Lamar Jackson, current quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. Phenomenal running QB, accurate arm, go-for-it mentality. Lamar Jackson was in that quarterback class. You also had Josh Allen, the praised quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, was in that draft class. Baker Mayfield was in that draft class. Baker Mayfield is a quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. Josh Rosen was a quarterback in that draft class. And Josh, I don't believe, is in the league anymore. But there was also Sam Darnold. So this was an unusual draft in that there were five top-tier quarterbacks. Five quarterbacks where most people said, you know what, if you get one of these, you're going to win. You can't miss. That year, people were high on like all of these. I remember wanting the Jets to choose Baker Mayfield that year because I liked his attitude. I felt like the Jets needed attitude, somebody who was going to win, somebody who was going to just rally everybody and rile them up. And this kid, Sam Darnold, was a low-key kind of guy that wouldn't bring swagger to the game, right? This kid, Sam Darnold, was a low-key quarterback who was not going to bring a lot of swagger to the game. You know, if you saw his interviews, it was kind of, I don't know. Yeah, we're going to, it wasn't anything big. Patrick Graham, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? So Sam Darnold gets drafted third overall by the New York Jets. The Jets begin the season. They go through the preseason and they begin the season. And Sam Darnold goes into his first game. The game begins and he drops back to throw his first pass against the Detroit Lions. And his first pass is an interception to the other team, which they take all the way back for a touchdown, pick six. Imagine you get drafted high and your very first pass is a pass to the other team, which they then take back for a score. So that's how he started his career, right? He started with a pick six, but guess what? They ended up winning that first game, 48-17. So they win that first game 48-17, but that was not a harbinger, or that was not a sign of things to come for that season or for that team, because they went, I think they won 4 games that year, and Sam had a record of 4-9. Yeah. Okay. Second year with the Jets, they do a little bit better, and he's hurt for a little bit. I think he had mono at the beginning of the year. Then another quarterback took over, and then he came back. They were 7-6 that year. Okay. Or he went 7-6 that year. I think the Jets ended up 7-9 that year, losing a record. Next year, third year, he comes back. Coaches get fired. He's got a new coach, and now they're trying to figure this out. And he gets hurt a little bit that year, but he plays most of the season, and he ends up going 2-10. So he's got a 2-10 record that year. Oh my gosh, turmoil, as seems to be the case with the Jets all the time, and he gets traded at the end of that year. They trade everybody. They get rid of all of the people. They bring in a new coach. They bring in a new general manager. They're bringing in all the people, the entire squad. Okay, they trade him to the Panthers, and he goes to the Panthers, funny enough, to do a quarterback competition with Baker Mayfield, who didn't have such a great tenure with the Cleveland Browns. So he ends up winning the quarterback competition, doesn't have such a great time with the Panthers, spends 2 seasons there, and then gets let go. He gets let go, and he decides that he is going to sign with another team. But this time, instead of signing as a starting quarterback, he signs with the 49ers as a backup to Brock Purdy. That's another story. I did a YouTube or a TikTok video about Brock Purdy being drafted Mr. Irrelevant, very last draft in the entire draft. But that's another story. Okay, we're talking about Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold is backing up. Okay, it says something about that. He's the guy who's Mr. Irrelevant, the guy who was drafted last. This third pick is now backing up that guy. Right? So he's the backup for the San Francisco 49ers. And here's a quick story. I was reading earlier today about that tenure. The quarterback, the San Francisco 49ers were looking for a backup quarterback. And one of the coaches had a conversation with Sam Darnold, who'd now been through 5 losing seasons. Can you imagine being in a situation where you lose all the time? What does that do for your mindset? What does that do for how you show up each day? Sam Darnold could have gone down the rabbit hole, but here's what the coach said. They said, I signed him because when I spoke to him, in spite of all of that, he said, I like who I am. Yeah, he could have gone down the rabbit hole, but he spent 1 year as a backup quarterback in San Francisco behind Brock Purdy in Kyle Shanahan's system. Then after that 1 year, he's a free agent. He goes to Minnesota intending to be the backup there as well. Because there is this quarterback that was drafted that was supposed to be the next big thing, J.J. McCarthy. They draft him, and he's supposed to be the starter in Minnesota. But in the preseason, he gets hurt. So Sam Darnold goes to Minnesota intending to be the backup, but then he ends up, because the rookie starter gets hurt in the preseason, he ends up becoming the starter. And that year, he goes 14-3, wins 14 games and loses 3. Okay, he loses in the playoffs, but here's what happens. The rookie phenom, J.J. McCarthy, is expected to come back, and Sam Darnold, despite going 14-3, despite winning 14 games, doesn't get re-signed. So he signs with Seattle. Something happened during that reset period. Right? He had a rough first 5 seasons. His record was terrible during those first 5 seasons. But he goes and he sits behind somebody who's younger than him. He goes and he learns some stuff from somebody who's younger than he is, who's newer than he is, who got drafted much lower than he did. And then he signs with Seattle, and he goes 14-3, and this year wins. Let me make sure I get this picture on the screen for y'all so you can see this. This year wins the Super Bowl. Yeah. wins the Super Bowl, takes his team to the championship, wins the Mecca, the chip, the thing that everybody is aiming for. He ends up winning this Super Bowl. What does a journey like that do to a person's mentals or their mindset? Markeith Braden, hey, how you doing, my guy? Dada Frid, making sure I get that name correct. D. Dadu Frid. Okay, let me make sure I get that. All right. What does a journey do like that to a person's mindset? Or what does a person's mindset do to the journey? There's a great book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and it talks about two mindsets, a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Don't have any graphics for this, but I'll walk through this. A fixed mindset. If we look at ability, struggle, feedback, and failure, how do each of those mindsets interpret each of those? For a fixed mindset, ability is static. I've got this much talent, that's how much I've got. For a fixed mindset, struggle equals inadequacy. If I'm struggling, it means, I can't do that. For a fixed mindset, feedback is a threat. If you criticize me, if you offer me criticism, that's a threat. For a fixed mindset, failure is identity. Failure is who I am. Oh my gosh, if I fail, that's who I am. If I didn't make it, that's who I am. If I didn't win, I don't deserve it. That's a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset says that ability, I can get better. I can develop that. For a growth mindset, struggle is, okay, I'm struggling with this now, but this is just making me stronger. This is making me better. This is training. For a growth mindset, feedback is data. Okay, yep, you criticize me. Yep, you talk against me. Yep, you share something that I may not necessarily like, but it's data. It's information. And I'm going to use that information to get better. For a growth mindset, failure is information. Every time I don't make it, every time I don't win, every time I fall, that is information that I use. Carol Dweck says in the book, the view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way that you lead your life. So Sam Darnold talking about, I like who I am, affected the way that he led his life. So do you have a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? Fixed mindsets protect identity at all costs. They protect identity, but growth mindset expands capacity. I'll say that one more again. Fixed mindsets protect identity. Growth mindsets expand capacity. But here's the part that most people miss, right? Most fixed mindset thinking doesn't sound negative, right? It sounds like, I'm just not wired that way. Oh, that's not really my strength. Oh, I don't want to force it. Oh, I'm being realistic. Ooh, y'all heard me talk about being realistic a few weeks ago. But Carol Dweck in that book again says, that's not honesty. That's self-definition disguised as wisdom. I want you to think about how most people respond to feedback. If you're not around people like this, then you're in a great space. But a lot of people respond to feedback. So a fixed mindset hears, you need to improve this, and it translates it to, you're not good enough. You might not say it out loud to yourself, but if you sit with it and you slump your shoulders with it, that's exactly what your fixed mindset is telling you. But when a growth mindset hears, you need to improve this, the growth mindset says, oh, there's something to work on, and it translates it to, I'm still in process. Same message, different meaning, different future. Right? So a lot of us, we defend our limits. So the moment that you defend your limits, you limit expansion. So as I talked about fixed versus growth, an old belief that you might have is that your ability defines you. But if you want to shift that to a new belief, you change that to my effort develops me. Carol Dweck, I call her name a lot today, says becoming is better than being. Michelle Obama has that book and that documentary, Becoming. That's another story. I won't jump into that today. Becoming is better than being. Growth mindset isn't about being positive. It's about staying possible. So we're running out of time. Let me jump over to our 3 actions of transformation today, because we want to make sure that your mindset sets you up for possible. And it's not too late to change it. You can have a fixed mindset and change to a growth mindset. It's possible. It's a decision. So one of the things that you can do is you can start with catching fixed language. Are y'all getting value this morning? Are you learning? Are you thinking? Are you reframing this morning? Just type yes in the chat if you're with me this morning and this is resonating, or this story is resonating with you. I love it. Good to see y'all this morning. Step 1, catch your fixed language. Listen out as you're speaking for phrases like I can't X, I'm not good at X, that's just not me. Right? Those phrases, those are not conclusions. Those are premature endings. I can't do this. I'm not good at this. Those aren't conclusions. Those aren't answers. Those are premature endings. Let's jump to the second one. Action number 2. Train yourself to say, I'm not there yet. Add that power word to your sentences. Add that power word to your language. I'm not there yet. So even if you said, I'm not good at this, but you add the word yet to it, now you've created process and possibility and progress instead of a conclusion, right? That's not me right now, or that's not me yet. I'm not there yet. That one word reopens possibility. You know what? We're going to dive into that power word yet in a couple of weeks, and we're going to dig deeper on that. Carol Dweck emphasizes that the word yet keeps the brain engaged instead of closed, and our brains remain engaged when there are open loops. The word yet creates an open loop for your brain. The word yet creates an open loop for your identity. I'm not this yet. Okay, where is it? Let's get there. So if you add the power word yet, that hooks up engagement for your brain. All right, number three. Treat struggle like instruction. Treat struggle like instruction. When something feels hard, ask the question, what is this developing? What is this developing? Your growth mindset doesn't avoid difficulty, it mines it. It digs in and says, okay, what goodness is in here? What am I looking, what will I find in here? All right, your growth mindset doesn't avoid difficulty, it mines it. So I'll say those 3 again. Catch your fixed language. Watch out for the I can'ts. Add a power word. Adding in yet is going to be a shift for you. And then number 3, treat struggle like instruction. What is there for me to learn inside of this? Hey, y'all, if you want help identifying where fixed thinking has been quietly limiting you, I want you to join me for the after show, the level up at 8 a.m. in just about 3 minutes or so. Join me there and we'll work through it. We'll talk it through. Honestly, get over to mindshiftmonday.com/Zoom. Hey, Nikki Greg. Good to see you. Froze45. Good. Chinmaya Prakasahu. So glad that you're here on Instagram. Hey, remember, if you want to get reminders about when we're going live, then text live to 240-557-8679. You want to get a reminder in the morning when we're going live. Text live to 240-557-8679. And don't forget, be on the lookout for our new community relaunch, the Amplified Voice HQ. Ready to amplify your voice, be heard, be influential, be paid. Then you want to be a part of the Amplified Voice HQ. Text Amplify Me to 240-557-8679 to jump on that waiting list and get notified when we hit live. Yes. Guess what, y'all? Possibility doesn't disappear. It just gets buried under sentences that you stop questioning. As you move through this week, listen closely to how you talk about challenge. Pay attention to the moments where you explain why something isn't for you, and ask whether that explanation is protecting your identity or it's expanding your capacity. Remember that growth mindset isn't about pretending that you're limitless. It's about refusing to decide too early who you're allowed to become. So keep shifting your mindset so you can keep your future open. Or, as I like to say, change your thoughts, change your world, change your story. All right, my friends, I'll see you on the next episode of MindShift Monday. Don't forget, come on, join me for the level up, for the after show in just about a minute and a half. Head on over to MindShift Monday /Zoom. I'll see you soon. Peace.